Hi there, welcome to my channel. I'm just going to get set up here and I'm going to make some, let me see here, get set up. I'm going to be making some little crackers, little pockets for some lip balms. So let me see if I can get my live going. I'm going to find the chat so I can watch everybody and interact here. Just bear with me if you're joining me. Hello, if you're joining me, I'm going to be crafting today and making some little crackers, and I'm using a template that I saw with crafting with Paula. So I've got a whole bunch of little different types of Christmas papers that I've cut to the size that I need. And I will, after the live, I will link below the video where I saw this with crafting with Paula. So I'm going to try to find my live here on YouTube so that I can watch and interact with you. Hi there. So let me see if I can find my show here. Might take a minute to pop up on my end. So what I'm going to be making is some little lip balm favors, or they might be called crackers. So I appreciate you joining me on my channel today. So what I'm going to do is I've got my measurement. This is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. And I need to score this. Let me find my score tool here. Got my embossing full. Hi, Lori. I'm going to try to find my live here on my channel using my iPad so I can interact and chat with you and sit down. But what I need to do is I need to, in making my little crackers, my lip balm favors here, I need to score these at, I have my directions written down. So, and I'll link the Crafting with Paula. Hi, Silly Leah. Hi. And so I'll link Crafting with Paula's video where I found the instructions how to make this lip balm favor. And 1 second. So this is what it looks like here. I've already had some, I made some yesterday. So this is what it looks like. It's just a little cracker with a little top that's squished up here at the top. And I've got some. Happy birthday. Oh, Silly Leah, I'm so happy. Happy birthday. Have a great birthday. So yeah, we're just going to make some little crackers like this. I've got a couple more already done here. Hi, Judy. So I'm going to try to find the live on my channel too. And then, so yep. So what I'm going to do is I've got my papers. I have a whole bunch already cut out in some Christmas pattern paper. And so this is 3 3/4 by 5 1/8. Crafting with Paula, she was using some lip balms that were 2.5 inches. I had to modify the length of my paper to account for the length of my lip balms. My lip balms are 2 3/4 inches. And then on the chapstick, it's just over 2.5. So it will fit in the same size measurements here. So 3 3/4 by 5 1/8. And so I'll link below it and the directions from Crafting with Paula and the modifications that I am doing. So the first thing I'm going to do is score on the 5 1/8 inch side. I'm going to score at 3/4. And then I'm going to score at 3 5/8. And this part on the end, we're making the top part 4 1/8. And then 4 5/8. So if you have a directional paper, you just need to make sure that the top, the direction is running to the on the landscape way, and it's on the right side is the top. This side with the score marks in the 1/2 inch position are at the top. And we're going to turn it 90 degrees to the left. And then we're going to score every 3/4 of an inch here. So at 3/4, 1 1/2, 2 1/4, and 3. And when I really get going here, I'll probably be making these in assembly line style. But for the first one, let me just show you what I'm doing here. We've got all these score marks on the back of the cardstock. I've turned it over so you can see all those score marks. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this corner away. If it's hard to see that score mark, what you can do is you can turn it over and be looking for those score marks here. And we're going to cut away that score mark. You've cut that away. And then we have the 4 pieces on the left. These are our tabs for the bottom, just to close that box at the bottom. So we've got our flaps here for the bottom. And then the next thing we need to do is just score all, or we've already scored, so we just need to burnish all our lines. Let me get a burnishing tool and make sure everything is square. And try to choose a paper that is not going to crack very easily. So you don't want something that is super thick. I tested this paper out yesterday with the other boxes that I made, so I already know that this paper is not prone to cracking on this project, so I think I'll be safe. I was hoping that I could find the video on my iPad so that I could sit down and craft, but it's not popping up. Maybe it just takes a second to appear for me. Okay, we've got everything scored, and we've got these bottom flaps loose. So the next thing we need to do before we can close our bottom flaps is we need to cut some triangles or diamonds into this shape here so that it can scrunch together. And the easiest way to do that is to fold over one of the flaps here. And then between this last score mark and the second one, we're going to cut up into it. And you don't need to cut very far. You don't want to cut all the way into the middle because we're going to do the same on the next one. So we just want to make a little bit. We just want to go a little into that area. And then we need to go ahead and complete the diamond or triangle as far as you can see. But once you open it, it's going to be a diamond when we cut the other half away. And we're going to go ahead and cut to the corner up here at the top. So now we've got a diamond. Hi, Jamie. I'm making some little lip balm favors. I've got a whole bunch of lip balms here. These are candy cane flavors. I've got a couple craft fairs that I'm going to do. So I need some lip balms, lip balm favors that we're going to make here. So we've got our second one. I'm going to keep folding until I get all the corners here. And just don't go all the way to the center. We don't want to cut it all the way away. So I'm just creating a little diamond shape in the center. Now, there are some dies out there that do this for you. If you have that, go ahead and use it. Now, we also need to get that shape on the end. And the easiest way to do it is to bring the 2 sides together. See, I've got the 2 sides together with the score marks aligned. We're just going to align those score marks and cut into the middle. Right there, I've cut into the middle. And then turn it, keep those aligned, and turn it and cut up to the top. Just like that. So that diamond shape is on all of the edges here. And when we create our box, it's going to allow those pieces to scrunch together. So let's see, I'm going to cut this score mark just a little bit because I can see already it might bunch up into the corner. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our box here. Hi, Jana. So I'm going to get out some wet glue. I got some art glitter glue, and I'm going to start here and let's see. So I'm going to fold one of the edges down of the box, and I need to glue this flap, this extra one, over onto the top of it, and that starts our box. When you fold it out, that's the start of our box. So I'm going to put some excess glue here and then fold that flap over. So as I said before, I saw this video from Crafting with Paula. She does a lot of craft beer videos, and I love learning techniques like this from other people who do craft fairs. And so we have our box. There we go. So what we need to do now is we need to close the bottom of the box. We're not making this a double-ended cracker. This is going to have a box at the bottom, a flat piece at the bottom. It will stand up, but that gathered piece up at the top. So we're going to make sure we know where our back end is, where that flap where we glued here. This is going to be the back side. So the front piece, we're going to glue the front piece last. So I'm going to take this one at the back and just press it down, and we're going to put the glue on and fold these other two over top of it, just so we can have a nice clean edge on the ends. And so the edges here, they're going to be nice and clean. And we're folding the flap to the back. Here's our seam at the back right here. We're folding the flap at the front to the back. All the seams are going to be on the back side of our little cracker. So next thing I'm going to do is I want to make sure that inside I get something down in there so that we can make sure that box is nice and closed at the bottom. That glue is adhering. And then we can put our candy cane flavored lip balm inside, and we can scrunch our little favor closed and just get some, let me get some ribbon out. 1 second. I've got a big bag of ribbon. I bought at a thrift store last year. It's a bunch of red ribbon. Let me just find a piece here of something that might work. Oh, this is a nice one. You don't want to cut it too short because you need some pressure from that ribbon to pull this closed. So I would suggest maybe waiting until you've got your ribbon, your bow tied before you cut it off. So let's scrunch this down just a little before we're tightening that there, and we're going to make a nice little bow. And just pull the ends down and get the bow situated where you want it. There we go. And I do have some sentiments already prepared. Dear Santa, I can explain. Let's see what else I have. I have a box, a little tray of sentiments that I've gotten pre-stamped and pre-printed. All sorts of little sentiments that I have from other projects. Let me see. Let me pick out a good one here. Silent Night, Holy Night. Oh, I like that. Let me use that one. Oh, and I have some paper from some cards I made the other day. So I'm going to trim this down just a little bit. Put some ribbon tails on the end, some flags. So I hope everyone's doing okay today, and if you have had a chance, hope you can do some crafting. Thank you, Judy. This is just such a quick and easy craft, especially if you're going to be doing mass making. I've got all my papers cut here. I have, I don't know, 40 sheets of paper plus with the one I just did. Out of 8 sheets of paper, I would do all the scoring. After you've cut them, do all the scoring, and then do all the burnishing, and then do all the gluing, and then do all the stuffing, and then do the ribbons. Do them in that procession like that, and you can make quite a few very quickly. So that's that. Let me get the flag built on this one. Very cute. So we're going to make sure that we're gluing our sentiment on the same side where our ribbon is facing. We don't want to glue this on the back. We want it on the front. There we go. So that can pair nicely with this. I think the red ribbon against the green looks beautiful. Let me show you some others I've already made. So these are ones I made last night. I have a couple different sentiments. So that's the one I just made. Here are 2 more. And just within an hour or less, I think it was about 40 minutes, I had 6 or 8 of these done. So like I said, it just doesn't take any time at all to make these. You can make several of them in a very quick fashion. So, and if you have pre-printed or pre-stamped sentiments, like this sentiment came from Sassy's LLC emergency card kit, it really makes it go, right? So what do you think? Do you like that? I like it. I think it's going to be a hot seller at the craft fair. If you're doing any craft fairs, you might enjoy doing this. So let me get this out of the way. Get my ribbon moved over. Let me do one more for you. Let me get my scoreboard back in place. I've got my 3 3/4 by 5 1/8. Let me go over those score for you again. On the 5 1/8 inch side, I'm going to score it at 3/4. And because I'm using a 2 3/4 inch lip balm, I need to have the length 5 1/8. So I just adjusted the measurements from Crafting with Paula to account for that. So we're going to go out to 3 5/8 to start the top of our cracker, 4 1/8, which is 1/2 inch, another 1/2 inch at 4 5/8, and that leaves 1/2 inch at the top. So if you need to modify for a different measurement, just think about you need 3/4 of an inch at the top, and you need 3 sections that are 1/2 inch at the end, and then whatever length plus a little bit extra for your lip balm in the middle right here. So you can modify anything that way. So on the 3 3/4 inch side, we're going to measure 3/4 of an inch all the way across. 3/4, 1 1/2, 2 1/4, and 3. If you have a fatter or skinnier lip balm, you might need to adjust these measurements too. So the next thing we need to do is we need to cut one of the corners on the end away. It really, I guess, really doesn't matter which one you do. just cut one of the corners away. And you are cutting that score mark away. You don't want to leave that score mark in place. Go ahead and cut it away. If you need to shave a little bit off this end here, go ahead and do it now. So I cut a little bit extra and did a haircut too. And then I'm going to trim the flaps on these on the tabs of the bottom of our box, just so those tabs are loose. And I can already tell this one includes the score mark. Let me just trim that just a little. Just so they're kind of even. Let's burnish everything. I bought a huge box of the candy cane flavored lip balms on Amazon, and I've done several different projects with the Lip Balm Favors. I have some of the Lip Balm Favor books. I've got lip balm purses because I have a purse die from Stamps of Life. So this is the third type of Lip Balm Favor I have here. So I thought I just need a little bit something different to offer. So now I'm going to cut those little diamonds into the top here. So it's the middle two score marks basically. And I don't want to cut into the middle. I just want to cut enough that it's going to allow the top here to kind of squish or smush in. Just go all the way across in that middle section here. We're not cutting the top, it's going to be flat. And then on the ends, we're going to gather those two pieces together. And cut. So you can see again, we've got our diamond shape all the way across. I'm going to fold that down. Put some glue. I just posted a short a few minutes ago on my channel about how to clean your craft mat because I did that earlier. So if you haven't cleaned your craft mat in a while, this is your hint to do so. So this is the front of our box. I can see our seam here. I'm going to glue this one last. I'm going to fold that one down. Try to get this as square as possible. It will help it stand up if it's going to be standing. But these make great little stocking stuffers, little gifts for office friends and family. If you're doing a Secret Santa or something, you could add this as a little gift. Press and then get a bone folder or a ruler or something you can stuff down in the bottom there. Just to give it a little bit extra, and then we're going to squish the top a little and load our lip balm. And let me find some good. This one's nice. I can't remember how much I paid for that ribbon box. I think it was just a couple bucks. Oh, I think I'll just use the whole thing, I guess. Let's see. Find the seam. There's our seam, so that's the back. And we're going to try to get the ribbon around here. Okay. clean up this edge a little bit. There we go. I may use one of these that I already have. It's very cute. This is where your little mini sentiments, if you have mini sentiments, tinies, that's where you want to use these. Let me clean this up a little. So that's how you make those little lip balm favors. I'm going to load these up for my craft fair coming up. And I appreciate you joining me today. This was really fun to put together. I'm going to be making a whole bunch more and using up some more of those lip balms that I bought from Amazon to make more little lip balm favors for my upcoming craft fairs. So thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great day and come back and see me the next time I have a crafty video. Have a great day. Bye.